with B-Bad and Brandon.
Yeah.
Oop.
We good? I don't know if we actually started. We just clapped.
No, we started.
Oh, we did. This is the Platform Podcast. We are your hosts, Brandon Greco and
Johnny B-Bad.
Johnny B-Bad. We are joined by two very special guests. One who can't even make eye contact with the camera. This is complete.
Make love to the camera, Kaine!
This is like the complete contrast in so many ways because he kind of he's just
if you're listening to this, pull up the YouTube and look at Kaine's amazing face right now.
Just look at him stare out into the oval because he can't look at the camera. You look redder than Polly on a fucking 410
The
squat.
baboon nickname's coming back.
It is. And then we have Kaine, the Big Show Shepherd.
Hello.
I've never seen you more nervous.
It's good.
No, I'm good. Just looking forward to this. Hey,
And
there's
then-
a lot of pressure. You've had some big names on here already.
But no one named
And
the
I'm,
Big Show.
I'm nobody.
You are somebody.
Compared to them.
It was
All
somebody
right.
to
Well,
us.
and then we also have to your left the lovable, the handsome, the most desirable powerlifter on the planet, Nick Wilson. Welcome.
How are you guys?
Look at that confidence.
Oh, mate.
That cheeky
love
grin.
Fucking that, the money maker.
It is. That is the money maker.
That's a blue steel.
You've only got one look in. It's
classic.
blue steel. But welcome. Before we start,
Can't wait.
I know this is going to be.
We'll start with Kaine.
Let's start with Kaine. 21 words.
Who you are and what you do. You can only... All sounds are counted. Brandon will be counting them. I'm no longer allowed to count them. Ready, set,
Any sound counts.
go. One.
I'm a dad. I'm a family man. Also part-time, full-time powerlifter.
That's
How many is that,
14.
Brandon?
That's you just used up. You're at 20 now.
Hi.
All right, Nick,
21.
you know the drill. That's a big standard to live up to, that one. Let's see what you've got for 21 words, bro. Who you are and what you do.
I would say I'm just like a beginner or amateur powerlifter. Sort of only done 2 comps, so definitely not a veteran, that's for sure.
Yeah, you just went over 21.
And you're out.
Is that all I got?
21
You had
words.
21.
Damn.
Did you not listen?
I was hoping you weren't going to be counting.
These two,
I could
like,
just spiel on and you just listen.
So Megs and I went to Harvey Norman today. As we're walking out, I just threw it at her. I'm like, so 21 words or less, how would you describe me? She's like, hang on, dickhead. No. So she said lazy, doesn't do stuff around the house. So we won't go there.
we won't go there, but we went there.
we went there.
I think you two actually surpassed Polly in being terrible at this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Luke.
Well, definitely
buddy.
shout out to Luke. You know, I just found out about Iron Path, as we all discovered, the bar path
Yes.
tracking app. That's
Looks
amazing.
pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Track your bar path by video. But we've got you two on here. Like, obviously, this will actually be released on Anzac Day, which is next Sunday. Both of you are both ex-army, so we wanted to just have a chat with you guys, get you on board, show us a little bit of insight to what you guys did in the ranks and how you went from there into both. You know, quite. I know Nick said amateur, but fuck off, you total stupid in your first year of real powerlifting, and then obviously I think you went 677 at no body weight.
Yep.
And
4%.
4% body fat at 80. Was it 82 you weighed in?
81.
81. You went 677.
Jesus.
And what you've been powerlifting for a total of about 8 months.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
And before that, you're doing CrossFit.
No.
So you were running.
The wad spanker, mate.
We later give a little prelude. Later in the show, Nick does have to leave early, and so he did get another guest, Hillbilly Willie, in for him. So we will hear from Hillbilly Willie at the end regarding Corona and Apocalypse. I'm pretty excited for that.
He's looking forward to it. He's waiting out there. There's a smirk on his face.
But obviously, and then Kaine, you're now I would say a very high level powerlifter. Just last comp off the back, Pro Raw was cancelled, but we got to do that mock meet up, or not mock meet, the GPC sanctioned meet up in Queensland, and you went 870, which is with 375 squat.
pretty happy with that.
And how long you been powerlifting? Not too long either.
I think I started with Greco in 17.
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
2 and a bit years. 3
You'd
years.
be nearly three spot on now. I think it was
Just-
about April that I started seeing him.
Just short of a 900 total.
Just short. So I think in 3 years we've put 250.
Yeah, his
Plus
first
on the
comp total
total or
was
something?
like at Busting at 650,
612.
612, sorry,
Half.
and he squatted 235.
237.
Sorry.
237 and a half.
237.
Horribly missed 250.
Oh,
And yeah. Going all right now.
I love that the redness still hasn't left your
I know.
he's not going anywhere for
shit.
about an hour and a half, I think.
It's the best.
Oh,
No.
you're my favourite.
Thanks.
So good. So, how long ago did you guys leave army?
Well, we'll start from the beginning, I guess.
What attracted you to the army?
Always wanted to. I think. I was thinking about this week.
I'm glad
don't
you
know.
prepped for this.
Yeah, thanks. A movie called Sniper, of all things, come out with Tom
Old
Berenger
school.
and
Yeah.
Billy Zane back in 1990 earlys.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
And
born.
yeah, you weren't even born, Greco.
I don't think Nick was.
What year? 90s?
About
Yeah.
90, I think it came out.
Yeah, 92. So,
Yeah,
but I've seen the movie.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Everyone has.
Yeah.
And I think that sparked the interest for me. I actually went to join when I was 17, but I bitched out like a little pussy. And didn't want to leave mummy.
Yep.
So I didn't end up joining till I was 21.
Yep.
So 2007, March, I went away to Camp Pookie. Done 90 days there. Went to Singleton for infantry training. Then got posted to Townsville, the mighty 1RA, the big
Nice.
blue one. Done just under 5 years.
Yep.
So 2 months short of 5 years.
Cool.
Got out 2012.
Yep.
And moved out to Longreach. Hated my life. Went from like, so if you can imagine, the armies, and Nick will attest to this, the biggest boys club you'll ever meet. Like, you're literally there to fight for the bloke standing next to you. And went from that sort of environment to total isolation. Moved out to where Megs grew up, which was cool for her.
Wait, we recently discovered this place. I was recently shown this place before, obviously, the whole Corona stuff. I don't know if you could call it a town.
No. So where Megs grew up, it's like 50 people, if that. And it's just red dirt. It's a pretty cool place to visit, but to live there is not cool. Then moved to Brizzy and met you guys, and here we are today, 8 years after getting out. So
Nick, what was it that got you into the army?
Similar thing, like movies and stuff, sort of definitely attract you to it. And then when I was a younger kid, always playing with guns, playing in the backyard with mates who were in the bush. There was, like, where I lived, just down the dirt road was like a bit of public land.
Yeah.
And we used to go in there and get those little, like pipes, PVC pipe,
Yeah.
and put friggin' balloons on the end and duct tape it and shoot each other with rocks.
Yes.
run
you
around
did.
run around the bushes.
That's sick.
And yeah, I guess that, and then just the fitness side of things too. And that sort of is what pushed me to joining. Yeah.
And what were you doing in the military?
So I was at 6 RER, so infantry soldier,
Yeah.
like Kaine, just different battalion.
Yep.
Joined when I was 19, so it was back in 2012, and I was living in Victoria, and then obviously then going through your recruit training, the School of Infantry, and then posted to 6 RER, which is here in Brisbane.
Yep.
And then since leaving in 2016, decided to stay here just because I had heaps of friends that were still currently serving now.
Because you're a qualified personal trainer as well.
Correct.
When did you do that? Did you do that in the army?
I did it in like my last sort of 6 months of before leaving. I started doing that on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I
okay, so
had-
it wasn't through the army.
No.
Because there are a lot, obviously, the army. There's a lot of career opportunities and education routes you can go down.
Yeah.
So the army
yeah.
actually has their own PTs that run PT every morning. So standard day sort of in the army is sharp, 7:15, do a roll call, make sure everyone's still alive, because it's pretty loose units out there.
All that laugh is just like
Because
remembering stories.
you were one of the loose units?
So many loose stories.
I got an email from Kaine this morning
Yes.
of him blind as hell.
Top 2 drunkest nights of my life. Easy.
And he was on the dance floor. I'll give it to you, Jason.
You've got video. Yeah,
I've got video.
Slide
We'll
that
put
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
send it through.
Put that in the YouTube.
It is hilarious, but he's just
Yeah.
talking about loose units. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
But yeah, get there, 7 a.m.
So yeah, so 7:15, do a roll call, then you generally cut away, do PT for 40 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. Typically it'd be a run, circuits, body weight circuits, pack marches. Then, go have breakfast, come back, bacon and eggs every morning, which is pretty sweet.
I'd love to see you do those pack marches now.
Oh, I reckon I'd kill it, mate. I don't need a pack now. I've got it all packed on my body. So the extra weight's already just getting
You're already
carried
there.
around, mate. But yeah.
How'd you
no, it
enjoy
was
that
good
style
times.
of training versus what you do now?
To be honest, when I went through SINGO, so School of Infantry, it's probably the fittest I've ever been in my life. Different style of fitness, obviously. I was very cardio fit then. So I was in a holding platoon for about 12 weeks, waiting for the course to actually start. And we were doing like 3 sessions a day of PT, running and swimming and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I went from, they do a fitness test, basic fitness test, which is as many push-ups in 2 minutes, 100 sit-ups and a 2.4k run for time. I think the quickest time I got was about 9:10. So
2.4?
for 2.4, which, back in my smoking heydays and everything as well, so wasn't too bad. I much, much prefer this style of training now. Yeah, this style of training I find mentally for me is a lot more rewarding than going for a run, which is pretty boring. And the social aspect side of the training that we do now
Yeah.
is pretty cool too. So definitely prefer this over.
What you like? Obviously, knowing your background, like you're quite an avid. I think that's the word. Rugby league player.
Yep.
I think you were contracted with St George Illawarra, and then you actually had a bit of an injury. Was it your knee?
Yeah, so I blew my knee out.
Because you were playing like quite high level, like on the
Yeah, I was
cusp of
playing
NRL.
playing rep footy and stuff. So
God, you're a modest asshole. Just fucking tell him.
yeah, it was just rep footy, mate.
No big deal.
No big deal. Just on the cusp of the NRL.
But yeah, I actually remember the day it happened. I went to break a tackle. My back leg, he was holding on to it, and the studs sort of stuck in the ground because it was quite wet. And I got hit from the side, and not actually sure what happened because I never actually got it scanned or anything. I was just on crutches for like 6 weeks. Come good. It was just before halftime, so I strapped my knee, played the rest of the game. Got home, couldn't walk. Thought, oh shit, something's wrong here. Better go to the doctors. Went to the medical centre. He's like, oh, you've probably heard it. I'm like, no shit. Here's some crutches. So I was on crutches for about 6 weeks. Then it come good, and I finished the season out. And as you know, got a scan done start of the year with Amy, and my right side's actually compensated the injury by packing on an extra kilo of muscle to my right leg, which is
Damn.
But
cool.
what I want to like really get on, like you're on the cusp playing high level rep footy, and then going into the army. Did that injury have an impact on you choosing the army route, or were you gonna pursue that career in footy?
It's kind of, I don't know. Not really. I guess more my lifestyle back in the day drove the necessity to go to the army. I was a pretty shit bloke growing up in my teens. I was probably an alcoholic by 16. So, you know, I was definitely all about that party lifestyle as well as footy and that. So I think if I didn't go to the army, I probably wouldn't be the person I am today. It instilled a lot of like discipline, self-worth into who I am today. And to think back, I sort of cringe at the person I was to the person I am now. It's like chalk and cheese, really. So I've got so much respect for the army and like what it's done for me.
Yeah.
I literally probably wouldn't be here without it. So it was
what
more
about
that drove joining.
what about yourself, Nick? Obviously, we spoke how you kind of got into it, but was it always army for you? There was nothing else, or
Yeah, I mean, I did play.
you're an athlete, like
I did play a lot of sports when I was younger, and definitely at quite a high level with all of them.
thank you for
As
being
well.
modest.
And yeah, I guess it was still something I wanted to do. Like I was real passionate about the outdoors and that sort of thing too. And obviously the job is an outdoors hands-on role. So it was just sort of by 19, I was like, yep, I'm putting my application in. Let's,
Were you guys
let's
nervous?
go. No, but first day at Kapuka,
What's that
Yeah,
like?
I
you
heard
rock up.
Kapuka's
What's that like?
fucked.
and you know, the bus ride there's friggin' long. Like it was, I don't know, 6-hour bus ride.
Everyone's on edge. Everyone's
And
pumped. to be
everyone who you're on the bus with is like, you know, starting to get to talk to each other, getting to know each other. You don't even know that you're actually going to be in the same platoon as them at that stage.
there. Oh,
You're all
know-
just going through training together, isn't it?
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
Kapuka's the
Yeah.
first real
Yeah, it doesn't matter what job
So they call
you're
it the home of
applying.
soldiering.
the
Yeah.
what?
The home of soldiering.
Oh yeah, yep.
That's where you go from Civvy Street to actually learn how to be a soldier. So
It's
you
quite
learn all your
intense
drill.
from what like. all-
It's not like the movies. Like
Yeah.
you know, they're not punching in the guts and making you drop and do 50 or anything like that.
pulling you out of bed at 3 a.m. and yelling at you.
There was that going on,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's the army, so you know you got to sort of weed out the weak to.
What do you
Keep it
endure
strong.
during those? It's 3 months, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, that's a long time. You know, the way if you
Yeah.
put in like it's not in the grand scheme of things, but at those time in your life, you're a young guy, like you know, you're going from a party lifestyle into something that is so being disciplined. Like, what do you go through? What's the process? What do you guys do? The first day of Kapuka, what'd you do?
The first day they go through, we rocked up, got put in like a hallway, or it was like it was like a hall, and they made us stand in file, and then we had to do like a bag check, make sure we had no contraband, and then they made us march into our lines, put our stuff away, and then it was like get your issued gear, so your PT gear, and it's just like yelling, you got 2 fucking minutes, grab these socks, put this on, hurry the fuck up, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like just,
It's
yeah.
a very,
and
very
then-
structured life. So, you know, they know what you're doing on day 89 before you even get there. So
Yeah.
every course is identical. And it's literally just teaching you the very basics of soldiering. You know, sense of urgency is a big one. You know, everything is hurry up, do it quicker, don't fuck around, get it done. Very, very structured. Like, and that's what I thrived on, I think. I actually didn't mind Kapuka because it did bring structure to my life.
You'll probably search for
Was there
it.
anything-
I think I was, yeah.
Was there anything
So-
you struggled with through the training when you first got in?
Probably not when I first got in. I took to it like a duck on water. Sort of later on, I got a bit homesick.
during Kapuka?
Yeah. So I remember one incident. I lost my bayonet. I didn't lose it. I misplaced it. And one of the corporals picked it up. And I had this chick, Sarge. She fucking tore shreds off me. going on about how, if we're on operations, the enemy could find this and kill one of our soldiers and blah, blah, just being a dickhead. And that kind of broke me that day. I broke down and had a proper teary. But after that, I was all right. Yeah. I don't know if Nick had the same, but...
Yeah, I mean, in terms of homesick and stuff like that, I wasn't too bad with it just because it was something that I really wanted to do. And I was making, you make heaps of good friends there as well. So that side of things wasn't too bad. I mean, I got along with everything well. So Kapuka was once you get past that, there's going to be yelling, swearing. They're going to put you down. Once you pass that part and you get to learn how it's run and a bit more of an idea of the system, it's a bit smoother sailing from there on. The longer you're there, the less restrictions they sort of have on you in a way. So, yeah.
Pretty funny though. Like every morning they come in, and like I was hallway 4, and so they'd come in the morning at 6, and you're out hallway 4, and you had 30 seconds to be out of bed with your sheets over your shoulder, standing in the hallway.
Like Superman.
Yeah. And it's funny because my actual best mate, who I'm actually his son's godfather now, I met at Kapuka, and he used to be in the room directly across. And as all hot-blooded 21-year-olds do in the morning, in all my glory, I'd be standing out in the hallway. I'd be looking him in the eye going, "Oi, oi," just, making him notice to look down. So, for 90 days. 90 days, he was just looking at my bar.
Just got to stare at it.
What a
treat.
Classic.
What a lucky man.
Oh, mate.
Did
I
you see
think that's why
anyone?
we're still best friends.
Yeah, he liked what he saw. Did you see any other people when you went through that potentially struggled with that kind of environment?
Yeah, definitely. So, there was people that only lasted a few days, couldn't
And
deal
then
with the
they would
structure, and they
pull out and go home.
They were out.
Wow.
Can't remember, was there like an amnesty period, like 2 weeks or something you could pull out with sort of no questions asked? Obviously,
I
they'd
think
try and retain you and find out what was going on, but, like you said, it's a lot of I was sort of older, so I had a bit more life experience. Not that you have much at 21, but more than a 17-year-old. So, you take a 17-year-old straight off his mum's tit and put him in an environment, And this is army terminology, mate. and that's how they describe it in the army. Never had to sort of really do anything for themselves or fend for themselves. They do struggle a lot. Some of them thrive on it, but there certainly were people that pulled out within, the first 2-3 days that were there. Just realised it wasn't for them. So, but again, that's what they're trying to do as well.
Yep.
So you've got to think the end goal is you're training people to go to war, even though it is only the very beginning. End state is, and especially at the time that I got in, like Afghanistan and that were in full swing. So, the end goal is you're training people to go over and fight. So, 2 to 3 days into a, Kapuka where it's very basic.
Yep.
Probably don't want a person like that going overseas, to fight the Taliban or, whatever. So there is rhyme to the madness as well to, I guess, protect people from their mental health as well. So if you don't have the fortitude to last there, then you're certainly not going to last the isolation of Afghanistan for 8 months. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Post Kapuka, what's next? What happened then?
School of Infantry
Yeah.
is the next step from there, or if you're in a different role that you signed up for, it's your initial employment training for the job that you've selected. So at Kapuka, like Kaine was saying, you're learning your basic soldering principles.
Yep.
So marksmanship, how to use the basic weapons that the Australian military use.
Yep.
Marching, your sense of urgency, you work on basic fitness. It's at a basic level, but there's like your battle PT and that
Yep.
kind of thing. But while you're there, you're also learning how the army's run as well. So how you dress,
Yeah.
how you talk to people, how you talk to your rank and that kind of thing.
Kaine's just laughing.
Did you have to learn some hard lessons on some of those
I
things?
feel like
Yeah.
Kaine's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But and then
Pretty much who I am
from
today.
yeah, then once you
dick.
march out of Kapuka, it's then to your initial employment training, which for both of us was Singleton.
Yeah.
Yeah, School of Infantry.
What was that like?
Sick.
Yeah, it's where you start learning the stuff that you joined up to do.
Where you learn to be an infanteer.
Yeah.
So you're learning all your weapon sweeps, how to, like field craft, how to fuck people up, basically.
Yeah,
How long did that
And
course
the-
go for?
that's about the same as Kapuka. It's 12.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 12 weeks.
But
3
like I said, I
months.
was there for ages because
Yeah,
I just missed the course that started, so I had to wait for another platoon to march out of Kapuka for them to fill the numbers. So we just, PT 3 times a day. It was the life, mate. Just hanging out with your mates. It's like being at school with your mates, but every day's lunchtime. It's cool. It's cool, man. So
That's brilliant.
that was the best thing too. Like, they're your best mates, and they really are. And no matter how hard things got, you knew that your best mate beside you was doing it just as tough. So, it sort of bring you together even more, which was cool.
And you're all fighting for the same cause, which ultimately is
Yeah.
the cost of building a community in that sort of sense.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And coming, obviously going through that, what other challenges did you face at both of you at your time during the army?
During Singleton itself.
No,
like
just
the
during
infant-
your time.
during the whole time.
How long were you in for, Nick?
For just over 4 years.
Oh, so roughly
Yeah.
about the same time both years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it. I didn't really have too many dramas till I slipped 2 discs in my back. And that's kind of when it all went downhill for me. There was a long rehab program that I had to follow for that. By the time I actually got out of the army, I wasn't. So they got like medical grades that you're at. Med 1 or Mech 1 they called it, was the highest, and if you got injured you downgraded to Mech 3, which means you couldn't go outfield, you couldn't go on operations, couldn't do any of the fun stuff. So I actually discharged at Mech 3, so they never actually got me back to full health with my back. Which is kind of crazy that I now do powerlifting, which has significantly helped my back. But other than that, that was probably the most challenging time. Then when I had Indy, my priorities in life kind of changed.
Indy's obviously your daughter.
My daughter,
Yeah.
going away and spending extended periods away from home at a time become less important or less desirable. And it was probably then I started to sort of come home from work and not have a sense of pride, or not pride, but purpose anymore. There was a lot of sitting around and doing nothing, like playing cards all day, and you'd sort of come home and I'd sort of think to myself, what did I actually achieve today? And a lot of the time it was nothing, so that sort of started the decline for me into my discharge process to want to get out.
What was the final thing that made you go, all right, I'm done?
I just got sick of the bullshit. And there is a lot of bullshit, like, you'd sit around all day till, 3:30, and then all of a sudden there'd be this massive urgent work task that had to be done, and you couldn't go home till it was done, and, some fuckwit had lost a tent peg, so you had to fucking find a tent peg before you went home or something, you know what I mean? Like, just stupid shit like that, like, just wore me down. And I was like, nah, fuck this. I'm out.
Yeah.
See ya.
What about yourself, Nick? Any challenges?
Yeah, I'd say relationships are hard.
Yeah.
Just because you spend a lot of time away.
Yep.
And a lot of time also when you are away, it's you hand in your phones. So there is no contact
at
with
all.
the outside world at all. So that definitely makes communication tough. for sure. And even if you want to start like new relationships and stuff, it's like a strain straight up early on. So that can be hard. And then I guess for me, like I sort of started seeing like some medical issues with myself in like my lower legs with just the high impact of the running and the pack marching. I started getting that sort of through Singo and just pushed on with it because I didn't, I wanted to pass Singo with my friends. And then getting into the unit, there are periods where the tempo is lower. So the PT, there might be a little bit lesser of it or a bit of your own PT and that sort of thing. But at the period when I was getting that lower limb pain the worst, like the tempo was in sort of full swing. It was, running 4 times a week, then a pack march. And I was just pushing through, but it just got to the point where it would just hurt to walk to the mess for lunch. And I was like, this isn't getting me anywhere. There were a few other issues with like courses and stuff. Like I really wanted to get on my combat fitness leader course, and I did so much work speaking to the PTs, making friends with them, asking what do I need to do. They all knew me up there, and I was on the course, and then it was like a week before I started and I got a call and I was like, you're not on that, you're on junior leadership course. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was just like, fuck that, man. I was pissed off because I wanted to then do that combat fitness leaders and then hopefully from there move into being a Army PTI, which is a personal training instructor.
Yep.
And that sort of annoyed me a fair bit. And then from there, the shins and the lower limb stuff, it was just painful. So I ended up going out with like a medical discharge, I guess. Which was a bit of a shame because I didn't want it to go that way, but it happened.
Now you both, I think, Kaine, you were set to deploy and then got injured.
Yeah, so we were ramping up to go to Afghan and slipped 2 discs in my back, so didn't go.
Were you annoyed at that? Like, obviously being training as a soldier, like...
Yep. So I liken it to, training for football to never play a game type thing. I kind of look at it differently now, but it'll probably be one of the things that I struggle with for the rest of my life is I feel like I let my mates down by not being able to go. Had a couple of mates succumb to the black dog from their time overseas. So I sort of look at it a bit differently now, like maybe it was a godsend that I didn't go and, I've still got my mental health for the most part. So
strongly most part.
Yeah. So, maybe it was a good thing that I didn't go in the end. But, like I said, I've done all the training, it's just one of those things, I guess. But sucked.
What about yourself, Nick? Because medical issues held you back from being deployed as well, wasn't it?
No. So when I first got to 6RER, the sort of battalion had just came back from tour. So they just got back. So I missed out on the deployments. And then sort of like the tempo of the battalion sort of changed a little bit from that too. So, yeah.
Sorry.
Did you know what you wanted to do when you finished up with the Army, Kaine, or?
No idea.
Sure?
I just knew I wanted out.
Yep.
Told them I had a plan. I didn't.
He said that to me now.
Part of the getting out process is, they do a transitional phase and blah, blah, blah. I just jumped through the hoops so I could get out and told them what they wanted to hear.
Yep.
The plan was we were going to move out to Longreach, where Megs grew up, which we did. And from there, just sort of wing it and try and find a job, which I did, doing road maintenance on the council out there.
Oh, yeah.
Which then led into a plumbing apprenticeship on the council out there, which kind of worked out well. Employment-wise, but mentally, like I said, sort of at the start, I went into a pretty bad place. Got pretty severe depression, pretty bad anxiety, and I think that was just because I'd isolated myself so much. I went from, you know, one of the biggest support networks that I'd ever had in my life with my best mates all around me to, you know, sort of nothing. And then I got the opportunity to come to Brisbane for work, and my plan's been here ever since to get strong as fuck and go to Big Dogs, hopefully. Shout out to Marcus.
I'm gonna send Jason the very first squat video Kaine ever sent me.
It was a good squad.
It was
It is.
horrendous.
It's a great squad.
I remember like this, like because we met through a mutual friend of yours. Sorry, not a mutual friend. We met through a friend of yours,
Yes.
and you came in with him for a training session, and he's like, "Yeah, this guy's really strong. Like he squatted 250." And I was like talking to Kaine. I was like, "Yeah, send through the video. It's the biggest fucking quarter squat I've ever seen." And I was like,
It's deep as.
I remember showing like
Didn't you even have a towel on the bar?
No,
I
I,
think-
might have had one of them pad things.
Yeah,
on
the-
there.
there was a
Ones.
pad thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
there was a
there
pad thing.
was.
But I remember showing one
Got
of
to
the
keep that
coaches.
neck comfortable.
I was showing one of the fucking coaches at the time. I was like, look at this dickhead says he's squat 250. But now look here, he's fucking 375.
Yeah. I look back on them videos, and it was funny because I thought I was killing it. I was at a little boutique gym in North Lakes, and you know,
Fucking big show
everyone.
in North Lakes.
Yeah, that's the little thing. Like you're a big fish in a little pond.
Yeah, that's it. And you know, I was getting patted on the back, so I thought I was killing it. Little did I know.
And then he met this asshole,
Yeah,
and
then
I'm like, you're
then I went,
shit.
Yeah, my life went downhill. Since.
It's true. So.
And Nick, you were thinking PT straight out of...
Yeah,
you?
yeah. So that's what I did. So straight out of the army, I went into PT.
He worked at TTC.
Yeah, so I was working under Elliot at TTC Strength and Powerlifting, and I was running the group classes there. And I think that would have been for maybe about 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
I was doing that. And then I went from there to running my own PT, like subcontracting out of when it was still Go, health clubs at Nunda, which is, now your Good Life.
Yeah, sweet.
So,
And
yeah.
from there, now you're like you. I like your transition because you've kind of gone from that PT and like you've stepped away from it.
Yeah.
Still very like obviously into your fitness. The wad spankers come back out. Fucking, if you don't know what that is, look at his Instagram. But also like you're going into this adventurous type. Like you're going out hiking. Like you work at MacPack now and
Yep.
fucking do heaps of adventure shit, which is cool.
That also started at a very young age as well, so it's sort of kind of always been in me. But I guess with the time in the army, I got more freedom now than what
Yeah.
I did then to take holidays when I want, or take 4 weeks, kind of thing. So, or at the time of the year that I want to as well. So that helps for sure with
Yeah, no,
doing
absolutely.
that sort of stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what are the plans for you guys now? Obviously, Kaine, you...
Well, at the moment, because of Corona, just get through this with the isolation, find another job, and then start prepping for Pro Raw next year, hopefully. All things going well. So, prep starts tonight, actually.
Oh, yeah, you're going to deadlift.
Shout out to Kevy.
What about yourself, Nick?
I think, just keep, but like, obviously, gyms and stuff are closed at the moment. So I've just been finding other ways or other parts of fitness to work on. So the wad spankers came out, 200 burpees, a couple of pull-ups.
200 burpees.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot of burpees.
Why?
Oh, one of my friends, so he runs, I worked with him. He was my section commander during my time. And he now runs a company called Industrial Fitness, writing fitness programs for people who want to work in either who just want to get fit or at the high end of, your sort of elite police units or in the military, like your selection candidates and that sort of thing. So he just put up a challenge that he was doing 200 burpees, and I said I'd pitch in. So I did it.
What the fuck?
How long did it take, bro?
17 minutes and
17 minutes?
17 seconds, I think. Yeah.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Sort of a standard military thing, though, like
Okay, you get down and do 200.
No, I'm not. Back in the day, I would have. But I mean, in battalion, like, you had anyone from sort of me now through to like Olympic level athletes, like blokes training for special forces and that, would, 200 burpees would be a warm up for them. Like, I remember one of the punishments we got. We pissed someone off, and we had to do 1,000 push-ups for the day. So
For the day.
every hour we were down doing 50 push-ups to get through to the 1,000. Just standard shit like that. So, it was, we got through them.
Did you make your 1,000?
Yeah, we all got through them. You didn't have a choice. You weren't going home.
You weren't going home till your 1,000 was done.
Till the 1,000 was done. But yeah,
Fuck.
but that's one of the things I do miss about it is you'd be sitting around doing nothing, and someone would just come and grab you, and there was a gym on base or whatever, so you could just go do whatever you wanted pretty much when you wanted, given that there wasn't anything going on. And a lot of the time we'd just do body weight stuff like snake bites, like you'd start at 20 push-ups to chin-ups, and you'd work down and up in your chin-ups and then back the other way, and stuff like that was pretty cool. Not that I'd do it now, but
I love the contrast. You've gone from super
mate.
elite fit to super elite strong.
We need to find some of them photos to throw on the thing.
Yeah, I got a few kicking a bit. I'll hit Mum up. She's got some down home, I think.
I want to see Kaine with 21 chins.
I want it. Just get him to keep eating. Tell Amy.
I got 14.
But how much has powerlifting helped you guys now? Like, what has powerlifting given you guys?
It's that community again, especially under yourself and at Valhalla. Like everyone there, there is to powerlift.
Yeah.
And everyone's there. There's no bullshit going on. Everyone's there to help. A conversation with everyone.
Except that Kaine bloke.
Yeah, except Kaine.
He just forces conversation. He got no choice.
Squatting in the corner and shit. Yeah. But and that's sort of very similar to what you have when you're I'm sure in the army and other roles too, but especially in the infantry where it's just a boys' club.
Because that's what you've mentioned a few times, Kaine. Like, powerlifting's giving you that community, that it's the closest thing you found to the army. And obviously, we have a close relationship with Fortitude Barbell and this handsome fella to my right, which always helps as well. I know, he's delicious. I've missed him.
I went from that isolation that I talk about from getting out, thinking that I'd never find an army type thing again, to powerlifting where, as Nick said, it's the closest thing I've had where, people are genuinely there to support you to do your best with no ulterior motive.
There's that teamwork back
Yeah.
that's involved, which is massive.
And everyone's got your back and everyone wants you to do well, and, and it's reciprocated. Like, I'm always yelling at people, to get their shit done. Genuinely because I want them to get it done and get stronger.
It is just like a chain of command, isn't it? I yell at you, you yell at someone else.
100%. Set laps.
But now, what I really like about yourself, Kaine, is that you're a very big, strong advocate for mental health. You do a lot within your own community. You reach out to a lot of people. How much of having a good community impacts that?
Oh, massively. So, yeah, like you said, I've been I haven't hidden the fact that I've suffered from anxiety for a few years now. And as I said before, I went through a pretty bad spate of depression, coming out the other side. With both of them, you feel so isolated from everyone, like you're the only one that's ever going through it and blah, 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 blah. And having come into the community, and now that I'm sort of more open, I wasn't open about it till I lost my best mate to suicide. And then I thought, fuck this, like, if he had just spoke up, we could have helped him. And I feel that no one, it's getting better, but I feel that people are still, there's a stigma around it, and people are still scared to own up. So I sort of just throw out little snippets here and there of what I've gone through, and the response that I get is pretty amazing, and even from people that you would never think are going through a struggle, and it's just a simple thank you, and it, in a reciprocal way, I kind of take solace in it because I know I'm not alone either. And it's an awesome community because no one judges as well. I'm sure there are people out there that judge, but they're fuckwits anyway, so who cares? I'm probably stronger than you, so go fuck yourself. So,
That's I fucking love you.
Here's what it is. Yeah, but,
Nice.
having the community around you just makes things so much easier. You got people to bounce ideas off, when you're feeling down, you can talk to people, and like I said, there's no judgment. People genuinely just care and want you to be a better person. So it's awesome. Then I've got you two legends getting on board with Swiss Aid as well, like, lads that I was in the army with.
What are they doing?
Getting
Tell us
a
about
nap
that.
going. So similar thing, Sutter, his sister passed away. He had to leave the army very suddenly. Again, lost all his support network, started to isolate himself and blah, blah, blah. Thought about it and sort of pulled himself back. And when Birdie died, they were talking about starting a farm camp thing for veterans to go and sort of chill out and sort of recuperate. Obviously, that costs a lot of money. So the next best thing they done was create an app called Swiss 8. Get it. Sign up, people.
We'll chuck it up in the show notes for people who want to know more and direct them.
So basically, they identified 8 pillars to live by that help preempt the strike. So a lot of the mental health stuff out there these days is very reactive. These guys are trying to get proactive with it and, give people identifiers to help keep their mental health in a good spot rather than wait till they slide and then offer them the help, which is pretty cool. So it's, they're actually planning, they were meant to step off till Corona hit, but they're actually doing a stomp around Australia. So they're going to walk all around
All
Australia.
the way around Australia.
And stop in at places and
Look
give
at
like
Nick's face. He's
lectures
like, sign me
and
up.
Yeah, I'm
Get
not
me
in
in.
the way.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I'll put you in touch, mate. But when they're in Brisbane, I know they're keen to catch up with
Yeah,
us
absolutely.
and do some training sessions and stuff and, help promote the brand a bit. So,
Definitely we'll chuck it up in and people can find. We'll throw it up in the YouTubes and shit like that.
yeah, it's a pretty good idea, I think.
Absolutely. Like the support around it's becoming more and more aware and that stigma is starting to break, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. So a lot of the boys too have done pretty well since leaving the army. Phil Thompson, shout out. He's actually the member for Herbert up in Townsville now as the MP,
Cool.
federal MP up there. So he's actually getting the Swiss Aid app onto the PM's office.
Sweet.
So there's actually photos with the lads having
That's
beers
cool.
with the PM and stuff. So, it's hitting the highest levels of government to get the support behind it as well,
That's
which
good.
is awesome, and it's a testament to the good work that the guys are putting in to get it
Also,
across
just
the
a
line.
quick shout out to you for looking down the camera barrel.
Yeah.
Finally, it only took nearly an hour.
Took a little red off the
Well,
face too.
Yeah.
I could-
Nick, I want to just touch on one thing there. Like,
Yeah.
watching Kaine talk about that march and walk around Australia, your face lit up. Like,
Yes.
and I've said this numerous times to people, like, you're an incredible athlete. Like, you're not just strong, but you are agile, you are quick, and you do a lot of things. And your mindset's fucked. And I say that in the best sense. Like, where did that develop?
I think it started at a young age, definitely. I think there's like the physical aspect and obviously like your mental aspect
Yep.
to go together. So obviously as you progress through fitness and the harder your workouts get, that then like in the mental side, you gain more confidence and you get tougher and more experience too. And it's definitely more experience through different things and different struggles, definitely for sure.
What's like you said you developed when you were younger? Like, how many sports were you playing when you were young?
I played baseball. I played cricket, tennis, golf.
Jockey.
Nah, no jockey, man. That horse would have rode me. What else? They were the main ones that I played, but then, like, at school and stuff, playing footy and all,
Yeah.
all that kind of thing. But they were the main ones, and the mountain biking. I think that's sort of what
That's sick.
kicked it off, like that fitness side of things.
You just don't seem to have fear.
I think-
That's the best way to put it. Like, you could put anything on I know you in the realm of powerlifting. Like, I've coached you now for nearly 8 months, and it's just like how I could put a number on the bar and there's no fear in your eyes. You're just like, cool, let's go do it. Where the fuck did that come from?
It's just confidence. I know that I'm not going to fail, basically. Like, I know that I'm going to...
But even if you do
Do
fail, it's a learning lesson.
Yeah, and that's
It's only a
it.
failure if you never get back under the bar,
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's just a confidence in myself, which definitely came from the army too, but then also in all the sports that I've played. And you gain that life experience from doing so many different things.
Yeah.
You just gain more knowledge as well in that time too. But I mean, at like a young age, like I was doing a lot of camping and hiking with Dad and four-wheel driving and that sort of thing. I think at 8 years old, we cross-country skied through the snow over a mountain and camped down between Mount St. Guinier and Mount Borbor at 8. I carried my own pack. I skied up the hill. I skied back down the next day.
That's fucking sick.
you're an animal.
That
He is an animal.
earlier that year in summer, I did like my own hike with Dad, where we went to Mount Feathertop, sort of walked across the ridge from Mount Hotham. And Mount Feathertop is the third highest mountain in Australia and the second in Victoria.
Jesus.
But it's not like you're climbing up, it's along a ridge line. But at sort of 8 years old, that's a pretty good effort. And carrying all your own clothes.
Just a big deal.
Just a little modest. I'm kind of a big deal.
I was
But,
happy not to piss my pants at 8.
and then from there, like with the mountain biking and that sort of thing, that's where the fitness side sort of start to happen. And that was sort of, I was riding bikes and stuff at a young age, but sort of by like 14, 16 is when I sort of was implementing that into fitness and racing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you kicking around with a bit of weights back then as well? Or
No, I
not
didn't
really?
start weights until I was 18. Yeah.
One question we did get asked:
Yeah.
how and why are you so jacked?
I think it's just
Good
because I
genetics.
have been training since like 14, and now I'm 28 and I haven't stopped.
Are you 28? Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Good life, eh?
Man,
Yeah.
look at him. He's just...
I'm 24 and I look like I'm 50.
Oh, fuck. I reckon we'll hit him with the questions before
get-
Nick has to leave.
We'll get Nick with these, because he's got to cut
He's
away
gotta
pretty
go.
soon.
Yeah.
And then, Kaine will just kick off, I guess, onto him and
Yeah,
whatever happens
full
after
time.
that.
Till
No,
we're
full
ability.
time. So anyway, this works pretty quick, Nick. It's question, answer, first thing that comes to the head. You ready? Mm-hmm. Favourite book?
I haven't read that.
I'm trying to think of the name now. I think it's Gone in the Wild or Lost in the Wild, something like that.
Cool. Now, you're in a plane crash. Now, after
It sounds like a good one.
Yeah, it is a good question. You're in a plane crash, and you and only one other person survive the plane crash.
Yeah.
You're going to live on an island for 40 days before you're rescued. Who
Yeah.
will you live with?
Oof. Who will I live with? Mike Lover.
Nice. Now, on that island, you're going to be hungry. Mm-hmm. Are you ready to eat a person?
No.
Fair
Ooh.
enough. You're a vegetarian. Dog or cat?
Dogs.
What superpower would you like to have?
Incredible strength and speed.
You have that.
Yeah, but even faster.
Even
Even stronger.
what type of apple are you?
A pink lady.
You're my pink
Is the
lady.
tooth fairy real?
Nah.
What's your secret talent?
push-ups.
Nice.
Push-ups is a secret.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm good at them.
Yeah.
Who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman?
Superman.
Okay. And who's the best, me or Johnny?
Oh,
It's definitely Johnny.
I'd say
Johnny.
Brandon. Only because I've known him for longer.
There
No,
you
you
go.
ruined it.
People spoken.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, Nick.
Yep.
Thank you. Like, it's been a fucking great episode with yourself, and I really want. Where do people find you? Firstly,
Instagram is Nick Wilson Fitness.
Yep.
Facebook's just Nick Wilson.
sick.
Yeah.
We'll chuck that up in the show notes. But we know you have to head off, and we really appreciate you arranging the next guest to finish up the podcast.
Thank you.
So, we'll clap now and get him on board, and please welcome Hillbilly Willie.
How are you there, sir?
Oh, this is so great. Now, thank you for joining us on such short notice.
Hey, no problem.
We know you're a good friend of Nick Wilson, who we just had on, and he said you were happy to join us for the last, few minutes of the podcast. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm ready to rock
We
and
should
roll.
hit him with the words.
We're going to hit you with a
With a big question.
Yeah.
21 words, who you are and what you do.
I'm Hillbilly Willie, and I'm a doomsday prepper. I've been doing it for the last 10 years of my life. Prepper born and bred.
And
How's the prep going?
everyone needs to fucking watch the YouTube. This is great.
Oh, well, it would be going even better if Scott Morrison would stop telling people to stop hoard buying, because I need the supplies. That's what a prepper does. You hoard buy and you stock up.
And what are you currently stocking up on?
Disinfectant spray, gloves, food, dehydrated food, ammunitions, diesel, kerosene, ropes, you name it, pickaxes. We got the lot.
And what brought you to become a doomsday prepper?
Well, I had an inkling that there was a virus coming or something was going to happen. And, my mates back in America were just, you should start prepping because we're doing it. So I was like, hey, you guys are doing a pretty good job. So I thought I'd join in.
And so you're from America?
Yeah.
And what brings you to Australia?
Well, over there at the moment is chaos. So I thought I'd come here and get out in the bush a little bit and get away from things and set up.
Would you have any prepping tips for anyone looking to, might be starting behind the line a little bit too late now, but any hot tips for a doomsday prepper out there?
Yeah, well, first you got to look at food, water, shelter, and fire. So you got to find a way to make all of those things for an extended period of time. So first, in terms of food, you need to stockpile enough to give you a supply. Now, whether that be on the ground or in your house, you got 2 freezers, I fucking don't know, but you need food. Then you need your water. You need fresh water for drinking, maybe a shower once a week, drinking's more important. And you need to have a supply, whether that be a pump from a river or dam into the house to fill up your water tanks, but you need some. And then you got your fire. So you're either going to have a fireplace, but you need fuel to start this fire. You need a lot of it. And then shelter. You need to prep your safe house. You need to stop those intruders coming in, and you need to, make sure it's protected.
Do you feel there will be an apocalypse, intruders going to storm your shelter?
Fuck no.
How would they survive if they were to come up against your shelter?
I would say you need to dress up as a juggernaut and run as fast as you can in the opposite direction, because you won't survive.
Now, it sounds like you got a bit of a military background. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And did you serve over in the United States? Because where are you from in the United States?
Alabama, great southern state of Alabama. You got your alligators down there, and, us cowboys get together and wrestle them bastards.
How many alligators have you wrestled,
I
Hillbilly?
couldn't tell you. I'm more scared of those snapping turtles. Nearly took my fingers off.
Oh, Jesus, you've had quite a life, haven't you?
Yep.
Oh, this is intense. I don't know if you've actually met Kaine. This is Kaine.
How are you there, sir? Nice to meet you. Thank you for your service.
Hey, thanks for coming over.
That's all right.
So, coming from the deep south, I guess you'd have a few roadkill recipes you could put up on the site for us.
Oh yeah, it's been
Times get tough.
passed down through generations. Grandma's raccoon stew. Love a bit of that. Squirrel soup. It's another good one.
Now
You know those little pastries, meat pies, call them down here. Yeah, we get that gator meat and fill them with that.
Ooh, yum. Sounds delicious.
So yeah, I got a few. If you want them, you can have them.
Yeah, I want them.
Now, you've become quite Insta famous in the last few days, obviously, or last few months. Obviously, your friend Nick Wilson been filming some of your content, and your catchphrase has actually become quite popular.
Yep.
Could you please give us your best "get back"?
Yeah. Okay.
And when would someone use this "get back" terminology?
Well, you got to warn people, because if you don't, there's probably going to be a federal warrant on you. So first you got to warn them. Because if you take that to the police officer and, you say, well, this man tried to attack me, but first I said, get back, then charges have fallen. You got no proof. So if a man's going to attack you, first you say, get back. And if he keep coming, that's when you're allowed to attack. But you got to use a nice, clear voice, a bit like this. Get back! You got to disinfect that motherfucker before you get too close.
Do you reckon we could get a live demonstration of Kaine approaching you and you just giving us your best "get back" and then a step-by-step process on how to approach the situation?
How to attack?
Yeah.
100%. Let's go.
All right, cool. So if Kaine, you just want to step up over there, and Hillbilly Willie will give us his demonstration. We'll just get the camera set, and if you could just talk that a little bit louder for the
First, I got to put my disinfectant spray in my holster and take the safety off. Got a full magazine here, so this motherfucker's going down.
Okay, so this is a situation where Kaine is approaching you and you want him to get back. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And okay, so he's got a knife.
He's got a knife.
All right, so he's got a knife and possibly the Rona. What are you gonna do?
All right, so first, sir, what are you doing with that knife?
Making sandwiches.
That's a pretty sharp knife for a bit of bread. Don't come any closer. Get back! What the fuck are you doing? Get back! And then spray him in the eyes. So not only is he disinfected, but he's also blinded as fuck right now. I put the safety back on so I don't got no discharge when I put it back in my holster. And then from there, you squirrel grip the motherfucker and take him down. First, you put the gloves on before you get down there.
Well,
It's very educational.
Yeah, that is very educational and it's very important during these very
These tough times.
These very tough times.
Yeah, you can use it as Woolies, just at Woolworths when you're shopping. Just remember to say get back. There won't be no fighting over toilet paper when that happens.
All right. Well,
We got to do cake.
we'll definitely hit both of you with the questions
Are you
now.
boys ready for this? So we'll go question, and you guys just keep going side to side. Are we ready? Kaine, favourite book?
The Iceman.
Favourite book?
Redneck Nation.
You're in a plane crash. It crashes. There's only two of you that are going to survive it, and you're going to survive that on an island for 40 days. Who will that other person be?
Eddie Hall.
My dog, Joey.
Now, you're going to get hungry on that island. Real hungry. Are you ready to eat a person?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. If it's a girl, yeah.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
Alligator and then dog.
What superpower would you like to have, Kaine?
X-ray vision.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Just like real big hands so I can slap people in the face and out they go. Lights off.
What type of apple are you, Kaine?
Granny Smith.
I don't like apples. I just like apple pie.
Is the tooth fairy real?
Yes.
And no, I don't think so.
You haven't met the tooth fairy yet?
And no, I've taken out a few alligators' teeth, but, someone fell off to a crack rock, but that's not really driven by the tooth fairy now, is it?
No. What's your secret talent, Kaine?
Don't have one. Pretty open. I'm an open book, mate.
Hillbilly, what's your secret
Well,
talent?
mine's shooting the 22. Pretty good shot with that, you know. Sometimes the neighbor's cat comes running through the yard, so I yell, quick, Mama Ray, give me that gun. As that cat's coming through, I pop a few shots off it, piss her right off, you know. So I'd say shooting. Shooting, definitely.
Oh, my turn. Who would win in a fight, Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Thank you, sir. Yep. Hillbilly?
Superman.
And who's the best, Johnny or myself?
Definitely the B-Bad.
Definitely the B-Bad.
Yeah,
Hillbilly?
I'd say Johnny. He can eat a big sandwich, and, you know, I reckon he could wrestle a few gators, that's for sure. He looks like a catfish hunter, definitely.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for coming on board and sharing your insights into the Army and, you know, the stuff you guys are doing. And big special thanks to Hillbilly Willie. And any last words, Hillbilly?
Oh, just thank you for having me on the show, you know. Yeah, it's been great.
And where can people find you?
Nick Wilson Fitness generally puts up most of my antics or shindigs, whatever you want to call them. So yeah, Nick Wilson Fitness.
Yeah, I'll put that up in the show notes. And Kaine, where can people find you?
At home. No. Kaine_Shephard at Insta.
Yeah, we'll chuck that all up in the show notes. We'll chuck Swiss 8 up in there. All right, boys, thank you so much. And just see us out, Hillbilly, with a big old, get back!